Hey, everybody, and welcome. I want to thank Cairo Secure for having me here today to spend a little time with you. I am Dr. Randy Ross. I'm the CEO of Premier Practice Consultants. And today we're going to talk about something that maybe you don't always think about, but really becomes important when you reach the point of wanting to sell your practice. And anytime I spend some time with you and I share some important information, it literally is something that has come up recently that has impacted the sale of a practice. So today we're going to talk about, does your virtual presence, can it impact the sale of your practice when you are ready to move forward? So some of this is going to seem kind of like, yeah, a no brainer, but I really want you to focus on a few elements we're going to talk about. One, first is your website. Is your website current and up to date? And there's kind of two parts of that. There's the technology portion of, is your website up to date? Or do you have something that's so outdated that it's not supported by anything? Not a very good sign. Do you not have current content on your website? Not a good sign. And even just aesthetically, we all know the layouts and the visual presence of websites change probably. I know we change our website every 3 years to, different formats that are more current, more functional, allow us to do more things. And buyers are looking at this. They're looking at, what does your website look like? Does it look outdated? Has there not been anything added or posted in there, since 2017? They want to see current information. Are there things that are attractive to a patient as they're looking at your website? Because they're going to look at your website before they come in to see you. So it's really important. Keep your website current. Don't look at it as an expense. It's part of doing business. And one of the maybe real important things you have to remember, maybe I should have prefaced it all with this. If you're my age, maybe, and those of you out there that are dated like me, maybe it would have a little bit less value. But people that are going to be looking at your practice, they were raised in the digital technology age. So things have a lot more weight and a lot more value to them in this virtual presence than maybe if you're, 50 or 60 years old. We use it, but we didn't grow up with it. This is all they know, and it is embedded in their brain what this needs to look like. And when they're looking for a business, this is an integral part of how they value things. The other component that is super important is Google reviews. Now, that's what's important now. 10 years from now, I'm guessing it'll be something else, but we're talking about currently. If someone's looking at you virtually and they're looking at evaluating your practice for potential purchase, and they go online and they see 423 reviews, that's fantastic. That means that you're engaging your patients, that you're conscious of what your virtual presence looks like, and that is a major plus to a potential buyer. What becomes a big negative is when they look at your Google presence and you have 11 reviews and you've been in practice for 30 years. Even if you've been in practice for 5 years, 11 reviews is going to make them stop and think, is there a part of this practice that is not focusing on business growth or is not concerned about what their virtual presence looks like? And think about it. All of us today, one of the things we do before we go patronize a business or a restaurant or anything, first thing you do is go look at the Google reviews. And even for potential patients, if 8 people come up in an organic search and, two or three of them have a whole bunch of Google reviews and you're down there with 3 Google reviews, they're not even going to click on you, most likely. So this has become very, very important and very valuable to potential buyers. The other thing is what we can refer to as your social media presence as part of this virtual world. I believe that if you're not going to do social media, don't have an account. There might be tons of people that disagree with me for SEO purposes, but from what I do, which is represent practices for sale, if someone has a Facebook page and they haven't posted in there since 2018, that looks really, really bad. And if you have other social media components, but are just like the page and there's nothing there, an Instagram page, a YouTube channel, but there's nothing there, that again is a huge turnoff to a potential buyer because they feel like, here's what you need to understand about this. And this literally happened about 6 weeks ago. We had a practice that was listed for $400,000. Beautiful practice, great financials, been there a long time, great lease, everything anybody could look for. And what happened was they virtually met this criteria. Older website, haven't posted in years on Facebook, very few Google reviews, and again, the business as a whole, if you walked in there and didn't look at this, was fantastic. But we got an offer of $150,000 less because these buyers felt that what they're going to have to invest and the time it's going to take for them to build a virtual presence that's going to be important to them wasn't important to the doctor that's selling because they've been just doing status quo for the last decade. But to a new buyer, they know they have to do something different and in addition to, and we actually got an offer that much less. And that really kind of was a light bulb moment for me to be able to share that with you. And you can start these things. If your website isn't good, get a new website. It's not that difficult today. There's either templates or there's a bazillion web designers that can help you get a website. You don't need anything super complicated if you have a simple practice. Social media, if you don't want to do it, pay someone else to do it. It's the cost of doing business today. Again, you can do as little as much as you want. Obviously, more is better. That's going to impact your virtual presence. It will most likely even drive business to your practice, but you have to have something going on. Google reviews, you have to ask for them. And not everybody is going to provide that, and that's okay. If you only get 10 new patients a month, try and get 4 or 5 new Google reviews. Guess what? At the end of the year, you got 60. Well, 60 is better than 3. So all of these things can be corrected if after you watch this, you take a look at your virtual presence and it really needs some help and it really needs some work. Now is the time to fix it. Don't wait till you're listing your practice and then it's much more difficult and much more pressure. And also then it looks like you've only done it to try and catch up to the curve for a sale. So important things to think about and look at. If you have a fantastic virtual presence, kudos to you. Keep that going. Don't get lazy about that. And make sure you look at these things. They're definitely a great value when it comes to selling your practice. And remember, just because you might not be thinking, oh, I'm going to sell my practice, sometimes that exit strategy comes your way that's not by your choice. So we always say, always be market ready. Your practice should always be ready for sale in case something happens and your exit strategy is not always by your choice. Well, I want to thank ChiroSecure for having me today. Please visit their website for all of your needs. I am Dr. Randy Ross. If you want to know more about what we do, you can visit us at premierpracticeconsultants.com. Happy to talk to anyone. If you have a question, please feel free to call me. I am always here to help. Have a fantastic day. Thank you for having me. See you next time.